The next thing is, shoot, I might even have to bring this down even further. I'm going to hold the shift key so it keeps it straight. There we go. And now I've got this part done. Now the next thing I want to do is I'm going to add a couple of rectangles in here, because if I look at this, let's see, I've got these little shapes that go around it. So for that to happen, let's see how big they were. Okay. So I'm going to go with a shape about like this. And I'm going to add a new layer. And then just go ahead and use the paint bucket. And I've got my purple color. And then the next thing I want to do is I'm going to copy this. Wait for it. Hold on. Okay, so now it's starting to grab the wrong piece. So if that happens, the playoff run, I might just lock this layer. Now I can grab this piece. Nope, it's still not working for me. Let's go back into this shape. Ah. Alright, well then the next trick, go with this, move it down to here. And now I bring that in. And then what I can do is I'm going to grab this, press the option. Actually, no, I'll press the shift key and the option key. So now I can space this out a little bit more. Move that up just a bit so it fits nicely. Hit return. So now I've got that part done. Next, I'm going to grab this, pull it down again. So then I'll have this piece taken care of. Then I'm going to press the option key and the shift key and bring it this way. Now, it's a little bit off, so I'm going to bring that up just a little bit more. Then I'm going to hit return. So now I've got that part. The next piece is, so I've got, unlock that piece, and I'm going to add this, drag this down to here. And what I want to type instead of this is I'm going to go with, let's say, from worst to first in the NFC. And let's see, what I want to do here, so the same colors are going to be there, and I'm just going to change the main color. So let's see, if I look at this, I might make these all yellow, and so I'm just going to try, let's go, so there's two different ways. I can highlight it and then go in here and change the color, or I can take this piece, go color overlay, so go into effects, go color overlay, and then I've got that. Okay, so now that part stands out. The next piece is the same as what we've already done. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to hide this because that was just in the way last time. Drag this piece down. I'm going to lower that just a little bit more. So they match up just a bit. Okay, so now these two are done. And then the next thing I want to do is take this, let's see here, pull this down so it's centered. And then I want to grab this shape here, press option and shift. So I've got that taken care of. Now obviously it's getting cut off, so I'm going to have to move all of this over. So I'm going to have to probably grab, let's see here, from worst. So I'll grab this one, and then I'll grab these. So now I've got all of them selected, and I'm going to move that to here. Okay, so that's looking better. Next thing I want to do is, when I look at this, so I've got this part taken care of, I'm going to add something right in there. Who's number one? I'm actually going to just type I'm going to type back. I want to get rid of this. That's just too long. And my spacing's getting all messed up with that too. So now I'm going to go in here, clean this piece up, press the Option and the Shift key, bring this back, and now I've got more room to work with here. See, now I can move this over, and that's kind of what I want. So I'm going to grab from worst to first, grab all this. So I'm holding the Shift key and I'm moving those. And I'm able to select a lot more. And now I've got more space to work with here. I think it looks a little more balanced. And then I'll have a little bit more room to write what I want to right up here, which is going to be Skol. So I'm going to write this part, and I'm going to type SKOL, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Select all of that, and the font that I'm going to use is going to be, I think, kind of a Times New Roman. So it's all in alphabetical order. I can keep scrolling, or I can just type Times, and here we go, Times New Roman regular. Move that piece. Move it over with the cursor. I might even make it a little bit bigger. So I'm just going to press the Option key because it's already centered. So now I've got something like that. Now let's see. Alright, so that's looking pretty decent. Next thing I want to do is, let's see here. I'm going to add this part in here and then the photography part just to kind of add a little extra touch to it to make it look a little bit better. So I'm going to zoom in even more. And what I want to type is, right, because we want to add those little details in there. So by Andy Staples, I'm just going to write by John Cochran. That's me. So there we go. So I've got that. I'm going to change the font size. We're going to go with 10. Make it smaller so it doesn't stand out too much. So I'll have something here. Okay. Now I may even add a little drop shadow to it or an outer glow just so it pops out a little bit. So I might have to go a little bit more here. That actually looks horrible. I might even go higher, but change the opacity. So it's still there, but you can't really see it now, but it still pops out a little bit. So if I hid this, see how much better that looks, but you can't really tell that it's there. Then the next thing I've got to write is photography. I'm going to give myself the credit again. Why not? So I'm going to go photography by John Cochran. Okay, now it's obviously behind here, so see this layer down here? So it's underneath and behind Anthony Barr. So I'm going to change this font to, let's go, another really cool font that I like is Bebas. It's a great font, and then I'm going to change the size to 8. Makes it a little bit smaller. Move this up above him, and then I'm just going to add this to right there. Try to get it centered. Okay. And now I've got my name on here, but that outer glow is kind of overlapping it, which what I don't want. So now I'm going to have something like this. And now I might even still have to go in, add a little outer glow to it just so it pops out just a hair. And I'm going to go a little bit less with that. There, that's better. Okay, so again, it stands out pretty nicely. So now I'm going to zoom out, clean that up. I still don't like that part, that little outer glow. So I can clean that up later, but you get the idea of how this is looking. Now, one other thing to think about. Right back here, this doesn't really pop out enough. So what I love to do is I'm going to make a new layer. Right, I'm going to make it behind both of these. And I'm going to add a little gradient. So what I want to do, let's move this over a little bit. Add my gradient, and I want it black to checkerboard. So this checkerboard means there's nothing behind it. If I go black and white, it's just going to make a gradient going from black to white. So I want this second one here. Now, the reason it's purple is because I've got this one. And so I want that to go down to black. Opacity's set. Okay, we're good. So now what I want to do here is I'm going to do this. Now I'm holding the shift key. If I don't hold the shift key, the gradient's going to be crooked. So I hold the shift key like that, and now I've got a pretty solid design. Now if I wanted to, I can even make that purple, or I can change the opacity just a little bit so it darkens it. So something I added to this one was a black outer glow. Now what actually might look better, I'm not completely sure, but instead of using this, I'm going to hide this one. Move me over again. Why is this not working here? I need to be moved even further. Okay. There we go. Alright, so maybe I'm going to add another layer here. Maybe I do want purple. I'm going to grab this color here, or this color, and then add the gradient. Hold the shift key. And so now I've got more of a purple color scheme going on. So this one's looking pretty good. I can add some other details. Now I've lost this little piece up here because of my purple background. So instead of that, maybe what I want to do is go up to the top and do a color overlay, just so the color pops a little bit more. And I'm going to want that yellow. And now this should pop more. So there we go. So that looks pretty good. I'm even going to go down into this one, and I'm going to change the opacity because I think that it's too dark. I want to see a little definition in the background, just a little bit, not a lot, but you can see some of the little details. So what's going on here now is I've got a much better color scheme going on. The background picture works pretty well. I can even take this picture. It's pretty blurry, but what I can do is I can take this image, and let's try this. We're going to go filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and I'm going to move this over and change this some more so the picture's a little bit even more difficult to see. So you can still see something in the background, but it's not too bad. You can see the difference. There's 20. I'm going to go somewhere around in here. So that works pretty well. Click OK. And I'll probably have to do a couple other little details. I could just clean this up a little bit more, but these are kind of your options for this. There's other pictures that you can use. If I wanted to, I could put a different picture in there and make the whole background a different color, but with the picture that I'm going off of, I want to have some sort of image in the background. So that's kind of why I went with this one. So anyway, that's how it works. It was a long tutorial. Hopefully it helped you to understand how this whole process works. As you're going through the text, you really want to worry about the spacing, and it's in character, typography, right in here with the kerning and leading, and the tracking. Those are all super important for this whole process. But you want to make sure everything lines up nicely. Use some of these smart guides or guidelines to help you with your organization so the spacing is right. Make sure the fonts are the same, or as much as possible, whatever works with the magazine that you're going off of. So anyway, hopefully this worked for you. Hopefully you enjoyed it and you got something out of it. Thanks, and good luck to you moving forward with your designs.